Hey everybody, we're back. Sean is back. Dr. Sean, how was the conference?
Conference was great, actually. Yeah. Before we start, we let's give a big shout out to our colleague, Dr. Yasin Chick. He successfully completed his diplomat in applied kinesiology. So it's a crazy exam. It's a 5-part exam, an hour per part. 100 questions, so you get 60 minutes to answer 100 questions, 10 minutes in between, and then once you're done those 5 sections, you sit for a 2-hour practical exam. So
pretty intense.
Yeah. When I showed up on Friday, he was you could tell he was eyes glazed over, and he had had a really tough time through the exam, but he passed with flying colors. And so it was awesome. We had a gala on Saturday night, and they awarded him his diplomat,
nice.
which is an amazing thing. So congrats, Dr. Yasin. We're really proud of you, and
Cool. All right. So like we were mentioning, we're gonna continue our talk this week on some of the tools we could use to help with setting our mindset. So last week we talked about what that represented and the impacts that could basically have on stuff around us. And so one quick thing I wanted to mention is there's a cool book that we read even during school on, it was a Japanese study that Masaru Emoto, who's a researcher that did stuff, the book's called Messages from Water. And it was really cool on the effect of the intention. He'd have people putting intention on water, let's say of love or happiness or things like that, versus something that would be more negative. And the ones with the positive intent or meditative stuff on the water showed these amazing, beautiful crystallized
formations,
formations, just like a snowflake formation when they crystallize the water. And whereas the ones, let's say, from negative intention or even heavy metal music, things like that, rap, had a very chaotic kind of organization. It didn't look like a beautiful snowflake.
Yeah, that's a great, awesome study. I was first exposed to that in that book, What the Bleep, or the film What the Bleep.
Yeah, What the Bleep Do You Know?
What the Bleep Do You Know? And watched that years ago. And
also a good resource for what we're talking about.
Great resource. Yep. And what Kevin's talking about, that Masaru Emoto, it's really cool because it's just vibrational frequencies, right? Especially when at first when they were discovering just the different types of music, right? The influence that music had on when they went and then froze the water and looked at the crystals, right? Looked at the water crystals, and you could see, classical music had these beautiful structured, kind of like a snowflake effect, and then the Metallica, and the great music, great band, but hardcore rock music had these crazy different.
That's like classical actually had a really amazing effect. That's what they even say for kids. It's great to calm them down and work on the brain as well.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap up, that's it. That's what we were talking about last time.
We're water, right?
Is the setting our intention to basically create that frequency, to have that type of resonance around us, to attract that type of
because we're water
mindset,
right? We are water.
So. Yeah, we're over 80% water. So
certain cells, right? So it's so powerful.
So even now, maybe we could get into just quickly. We'll summarize like a few things we see in the clinic sometimes. So like if we talk, we often have to explain to patients about certain belief systems they have and how it's impacting them. And sometimes we have to show them that what they're saying to themselves, they don't really believe. So we do this with the kids at home too sometimes, even just you can use it as a lie detector test. It's actually pretty cool. So that muscle testing, again, through applied kinesiology, we do these psychological reversal techniques, which you could find often when someone has a belief system that they go on every day, but deep down, like their subconscious does not believe that.
Yeah, believes the opposite.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can actually test someone for that and show them that what they're saying is totally false. Yeah. So then that just helps them, bringing that to their consciousness so that they can actually see, well, why do I actually believe that? And what is the true belief?
Yeah, find what the deep-rooted cause is and then work towards changing that. So an example of this psychological reversal technique, or just a simple fun, right? If we had a neurologically facilitated muscle, so something that fits into our requirements. Just for example, right? If I test it, I say, Kevin, what's your name, right? If Kevin said, my name's Kevin,
My
right?
name's Kevin.
So his muscle should remain facilitated, right? Now, if he had a psychological reversal, so it was something deep rooted that he, thought he believed, but maybe deep down he had the opposite belief. And I say, Kevin, is your name Sean, right?
My name's Sean.
So his neurological system, right? His nervous system will see that as contraindicatory to what he believes, and there'll be various signs and symptoms that will shut down. So it's a really cool way of I know Kev deep down he really wants to be Sean, but we can't all be Sean.
Well,
so
they do say we look like me.
So it's a really cool way or tool just to kind of get the patient yourself, or we use this on ourselves just to see if you're in line with what you believe, right?
Yeah.
And because like we talked about, the impact these guys talked about of your self-talk and your belief system, that makes up your reality, right?
Yeah, so it's a cool way too to kind of see like what's false, what's not. So that's kind of the basis of what we want to talk about today, is more the routine we want to set into place to maybe make this a lot easier for you guys. So when we talk about that, it's knowing that, like what we said last time, having a little bit of work every day to amount to some goal or some intention. So obviously, if there's something you want to achieve, there's things you want to do, it just makes sense that you think about it often so that you can visualize how it's going to happen and put the everything in place for that to actually occur.
Yeah, they talk about the system of the brain, the reticular activating system that once initiated, right? It's the part of the brain that when you say, "Oh, I want a car," or "I want to get something," or "I want to do something," then guess what? You start to see that, I want to buy an Audi, right? And then next thing you know, you're seeing all these Audis all around you. Right? So you don't know what you don't know. So, like Kevin said, to consciously and physically write something down and then read it and practice
So I think that practice then is of setting the intention, which is so important. Could be many things. So example, I probably get up around 5 every day, between 5:30, and I'll spend about 10 minutes doing this. So it's not long, and I do a bit of a little meditation that I do, and a visualization. So for everyone, it's picking something that they enjoy doing. It could be just thinking about it, writing about it, and then just seeing it, like we said last time, like it has already occurred. So map that out and really showcase like what your intent is, and the more you're specific and focused on it, the quicker this usually grows. So that's it. So the routine part, the meditation part, like that could be
the morning routine, right?
It could be anything. It could be
nighttime routine.
There's so many forms of meditation too, right? So
Yeah.
you can do one where you're just focusing on breathing. You could do one where you're actually visualizing at the same time. So that's entirely up to you. That's something to investigate, just to see which types you would like. And it doesn't need to be meditation at all.
Exercise can be meditation for someone, right?
It could be focusing and having something that's going to put you in the state of mind to kind of bring you towards those ideas that you really want to do. So that's the biggest thing that we wanted to focus on today.
Yeah. Lately, actually, just a new routine of mine is I've been waking up early. For the past 2 years, I've been woken up to either a screaming baby, and then usually my day I joke, but usually my day is a screaming baby, right? But recently, I've set my intention to get up early before everyone. So Kelly gets up with me some mornings, if depending on how our youngest baby has slept, and we take that time to, one, make a coffee, right? Part of my routine, and enjoy the time to ourselves or to myself. And I do some reading, some writing, some visualization, and it's amazing that then when our boys wake up, I'm so much more. I'm ready to handle the day.
Yeah,
and
more present, really.
More present. Right?
So that's the key. Like we were saying last time about being in like your heart center. That all that means is you're allowing yourself to explore like things that you are resonate with you. So the more you spend time focusing on that, the more clear they become. So in the beginning, I wanted to get to this just because it's not always obvious in the beginning when we're explaining this to patients. It's not like they do it the first day and it was like, oh my God, yeah, I had this huge revelation. So you got to understand, like every day you do it, that grows and it amounts to something that becomes more clear in the long run. So the dedication to doing this work every day is very, very important. Like we said last time, dreams work, only if you do, right?
Exactly.
So that's really, really important in terms of getting that done. So
my intention or my meditation in the morning is usually revolves around some form of gratitude. So most of us have probably heard about this, but that's how I set my day, and anyone can do this, right? This is when we talk about meditation, visualization. Anyone can if you start from a foundation of gratitude, right? Everyone, regardless of where you're at in your life, you can be grateful for something. So if you hold that thought or you focus on that thought for a bit, whatever you're grateful for, whether it's your parents, whether it's your kids, whether anything, the roof over your head, right? If you start the day around that concept, it's crazy, what can happen. But that's one of the easiest.
So like less focus on what we're missing and
exactly,
more focus
right?
on what we already have.
Exactly.
Right.
So most people, what do? We focus on the lack thereof. So you'll I want this, I want that, I want that, I want to get this, I want to get that, which is amazing to have those goals, right? But the foundation should be coming from that state of gratitude, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you're thankful for, whatever you're grateful for, and then it's a snowball effect to all those other things, right? It's not wrong to want those other things, but just to take a step back and look, right? Anywhere, any phase of life, wherever you're at, right? Whether you're at the lowest point of your life, there are things that you can be grateful for, guaranteed. Yeah. So
it's very similar to mine, and I'm pretty sure tons of people do this. It's just mine too was around like the love and appreciation for people around me, like my kids, my wife, and coworkers, people I work with. Like I love coming to work every day. Like it's so much more fun when you surround yourself with like-minded people. It just amplifies that whole experience, right? So that's very important that we didn't really mention last time. That could be part of your routine, is focusing on, are there some toxic people around me that are potentially affecting the way I think? So easy way to know that is like every time you would have one of your creative ideas or anything of that nature, it's people saying, well, you can't do it, that's not possible. All these types of phrases are a pretty good indication that maybe that person's not the right one to be around you. There's nothing wrong with putting someone in check and saying, well, how are you going to do that, and blah, 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 but it should be more encouraging than it is putting down and degrading. So keep that in mind. That's very, very important to have those people around you. They will be supporting you and helping you in that process, which is way more enjoyable than having someone that's resisting again. So that goes back to our resistance theme of last time, of what could block you through this path. Well, people can if they think that way. So that would be another one.
So I think that's awesome. Let's kind of recap where we covered today. So mindset practice. So the art of doing this daily, if possible. We talked about this Japanese study, for those of you just joining us, this Japanese study by Masaru Emoto, Messages from Water. He related this study, actually what they found was super, super interesting. He took water in its state and then he froze it, and he looked at the crystals, right? He looked at the actual crystal, the snowflake patterns or the crystals of this water. And he did it with just regular tap water. He did it with pristine Evian water. He did it with water from polluted sources, and he would see varying patterns, right? He then took it a step further and exposed the water to vibrational frequencies, and he would see different patterns, right? The good frequencies or the positive frequencies had these beautiful patterns, these beautiful crystals. The bad frequencies had these crazy irregular patterns. He then took it a step further and he did it energetically. So the thoughts or emotions. So he literally had people saying, you know,
putting intentions
on water. He even took he would take polluted water and leave it for a period of time and write love and empathy and gratitude, write the words on the bottle that housed the water, and looked at those crystals. And you should see they had beautiful crystals, right?
I'm not sure if it was the same guy, but there was one where they did it with rice as well.
Yeah. Oh,
and the positive one germinated.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one actually had mold.
Yeah.
So it started developing mold.
Awesome. Same concepts, right? So we relate this study to intention and your thoughts, and the thoughts that you allow to dominate your head, the people you're allowed to surround yourself with.
Yeah. So all that contributes to, like Sean was saying, the setting that frequency. So you got to remember that the way you think really creates a vibration, which is really crucial to a lot of people do it without even knowing it.
Oh yeah, and that vibration's contagious too.
Yeah, the impact is great, and you'll notice it when you're around someone and they just enjoy being around you because you're giving off something that's like positive. So
yeah, and something similar, you're vibrating on the same.
Or the opposite too, right? When you know someone's either in a bad mood or not doing well just by the vibe they're giving off. So this is really, really crucial to work on this and put all these things like the meditation and visualization, that type of planning in place in order to cultivate that and make it grow.
So set your perfect day routine. Right?
Yep.
How do you want your perfect day to look? How do you want your morning practice to look? Get up a few minutes early. Right?
What could be cool is it would be really fun if people start doing this, then send them into us.
Share with us. Share a little bit.
Oh, we're back. So if anyone's doing this, it would be great to
we'd love to see your morning routine or your nightly routine. What are you guys doing to get yourself in this right frame of mind, this right headspace, this right intention? That'd be awesome, right, Kat?
Kind of have a group. Maybe we could create a group where everyone's kind of comparing it. Anyways,
but hope you guys enjoyed today's Facebook Live. We love doing these things for you as always. Check out our other Facebook Lives.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, comments, any other material you guys want to hear about.
And also,
I'm gone next week, right?
Sean is gone down in Mexico.
I'm going to be in Mexico next week, really recharging the battery.
Yeah.
And I know I can see my mother-in-law is watching. I think she just gave us a thumbs up. So I will be with...
If you guys need an osteopath, I'd be glad to come.
Yeah, we'll pack Casey in my suitcase.
Yeah.
I think my son's already invited his entire daycare. He's so excited.
Nice.
Every day he's like, "You come to Mexico with us?" So no, I'm excited. I'm going to do some thinking while I'm down there, some recharging, enjoy family time. So thank you very much.
Next week, a good friend of mine, David Arsenault. Runs an amazing program that he's going to be talking about next week. So look
Champions for life. It's awesome. It's all about
really good
physical literacy for kids, the importance of movement, of moving, right? You don't stir the soup, what happens, right? You rust.
So that the kids' development and how it affects the brain.
Oh, it's so important.
Great guy. He'll be on next Friday with me, and then that's it. So we look forward to seeing you next week. If you guys have any questions, just give us a ring.
Have an awesome weekend, guys.
Talk soon.